Is it okay?
That's fine.
All right. So my name is Isa. Right. And I think you are Phil, and you are Kathy, right? And you're John, and you're Mariam, and you're Jasmine, and you are? Laura. And you are?
Ayana.
And?
Joanna.
Johanna and? She almost I remember everybody. So today, the theme of my presentation is we are a spiritual family here at the World Divine Light Center. Yes. So, what is a spiritual family? What is your idea, feel about what is a spiritual family?
We are together. We are
Together?
the same family.
May I write this down?
Sure.
Thank you so much. Together. Okay, what about you, Kathy? What is your idea?
Same thing.
Same thing. And how about you, John?
A spiritual family would be a family that probably very close into their progress in their relation with God. So that would make them the family.
Close to progress. Close to God. Very interesting. Yeah. How about you, Mariam?
Spiritually seeking the same.
Spiritually seeking the same. All right. And you, Johanna?
Trying, focusing on the same goal of understanding God or becoming closer to God.
Understanding God, is that what you said?
Knowing God or feeling connected to God.
My handwriting is like,
It's legible, it's very legible.
when I was in school, my teacher said that my handwriting is like a fly that falls in an ink pot and walks on the paper. How about you, Jasmine?
Spiritually connected and helping each other.
And how about you, Laura?
It's a support group. The ones is there for you no matter what.
Hey.
And we are a family by not by blood but spirit.
Hey.
And a family no matter what always stick together. So family by blood. But I feel since I find divine light, I've been going through so much, and I think I have that support for divine light that I haven't had for nobody else. Even I'm a fundator for a support group for Latino ladies. Nobody was there for me, but the Dodgers from divine light, they were there for me.
All right, so you said connected by blood.
Connected by the spirit.
Connected by the spirit.
We are connected by the spirit. Support group connected, family connected by the spirit.
Support.
Support group.
No matter what you say.
I like the word unconditional.
You want to add unconditional here, Johanna?
Yeah, wherever. Yeah, we're connected unconditionally.
Focusing on the same goal. Connected. Okay, give me 1 second. So no matter what. And you added Johanna, connected unconditionally.
Yes, unconditional love, unconditional, without judgment of each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Phil and Kathy together, and that's husband and wife. We learned husband and wife is not two but one. No, it's two but the same, you know, that's very strong. And then your son, you know, I told him, in my case, my mother found this divine light and she guided me. In your case, your son found about this divine light and then showed to you. And his idea is close to progress and close to God. So, spiritually seeking the same. Yeah. And spiritually seeking the same, Maria. Focusing on the same goal, knowing and feeling connected to God unconditionally, with no judgment. Just been focusing on the same goal. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Johanna. Who said spiritually seeking? Oh, you did, Mariam. And spiritually connected and helping each other. This is you, Jasmine. Connected by spirit. Support group no matter what. You know, Shiho told me something today that is interesting. We have the theme today of spiritual family. Spiritual family. So there's two words. Spiritual and then family. And today you brought your parents and you were planning on bringing as well your dad. You know, that's quite interesting arrangement from the invisible world. So what is your definition of, okay, let's leave family alone for the moment. And what is the definition of family? Just the word family. What is your definition, John?
Bond.
Bond. Okay. Bond. How about you, Maria?
Family in the same name and the same roof.
Same name, same roof. Same name. Same roof. How about you, Ayano-chan?
Just family.
Just family.
Supporting each other forever.
Oh, supporting each other forever. Supporting each other forever. It's like a poem, it's forever. It's like a rhyme, supporting each other forever. Wow. How about you? May I ask you your definition of family only?
We never cannot cut the relationship between,
Never separate?
never separate.
Wow. Wow. You know, these words are very strong that we use today. Because in your case, Phil, in your case, Kathy, we never met in this lifetime. Just I met your son twice. And only one time I spoke with him for maybe 30 seconds. But we are exchanging words that are very powerful. I know that you, I think, were born in Vietnam.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was born in Senegal, but in my father's ancestral country, which is original on his mother's side, he was Yoruba. There's two definitions of the word family. There's the family by blood and the family by earth. There's a Yoruba.
Can I add something?
Yes?
Really quick? Love.
Love. For family. Family, we all add love here. Love. in the people of Yoruba, the Yoruba were the largest ethnical group of Africa during the time of slavery. You know that in Africa there is more than, I don't know how many thousands of different ethnical groups like Yoruba, Wolof, Maasai, Bambara. There's thousands, so many languages. But Yoruba was the largest group that was identified by the slave traders as those who had some qualities they found is good. So they tried to find the Yoruba to bring them in America or South America for slavery. So the Yoruba, you see some African people, they have some, marks that cut here on the side is the Yoruba. Why they do that? Because you see, for them, family is blood. If we have the same blood, like, he has the same blood as you. But the one who born on the same earth, the same village, they consider family. So how they can recognize themselves if they're sent all over the world, that's how they recognize. So when they see each other, this is a family member. That's the Yoruba. Yeah, the definition of family. So as you see, there's many different, definitions of family. Spiritual family, different definition of family. Yeah, and in different cultures, the family is also a little bit different. For example, in the Asia, especially in Japan, which is the country I know best in Asia, the culture is a vertical culture, like this. For example, I believe the oldest family that can trace its tree from the origin is the family of the Emperor of Japan. Yeah, because since thousands of years, there's always been boys in this family. And it goes like this, up until now. Never changed. The last name, the lineage, the inheritance, the role, the function has never changed. Yeah. But, so it's vertical in Japan. It's like this, the loyalty to the ancestors, the father, and so forth. In the Western world, especially Europe, it's horizontal. So the loyalty is, like the brothers and siblings, and like this. But, so this is really interesting because our spiritual leader, he gave speeches that are divinely inspired. And every month when he makes a speech, we listen very carefully because the message comes from a God that used his spiritual body to give us some kind of guidance. And recently, that means about a week ago, he spoke about the diversity of cultures of the world, and for the young people, the importance of understanding other people's cultures to become an international person, and yet understand their own culture, so they can communicate harmoniously with people of the entire world more successfully. So I heard those words recently from him, and I see all different types of definitions about the concept of family that we just shared with each other. So today really is going to be for me, and that's a very interesting experience to speak about the spiritual family, because as I speak with you about what is our spiritual family, I'm going to learn myself, deeper aspects. What is our spiritual family in this organization? So what I would like to begin is I'm so happy to use for the first time this is an inheritance from Keita. He left. We have a family member who just left this morning. That's why we were so sad. We were supposed to buy a bucket, so we have a crying party. So the tears, fill the bucket, but we didn't. And he's gone this morning. But he left this, and I'm the first one to use it. So now I'm going to turn it on. Fantastic. Now, you see how wonderful it is? So this picture was taken from a movie entitled Cocoon. So I think maybe, Phil, you saw this movie. Maybe you saw the movie Laura. Johanna, maybe Maria, but I think you couldn't see because it was before your birth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember.
1985.
1985? Right. So do you remember about the movie Cocoon? It was a story, a nursing home, and they have the swimming pool, so they go and swim, and then one day they jump in the pool. They see those big cocoons in the the bottom of the pool. They don't know what it is, but when they swim in that pool, then when they come out, they have energy that they never can imagine. They dance all night and they're so happy. They jump up and down, and they say, "Oh, there's something magic about this." So they try to find what's in this cocoon, but they can't. And one day, those people who come to pick up those cocoons, they come from another planet, in fact. A long time ago when they left the Earth, they forgot those because they were not born yet. And that's why, they kept them somewhere, and then they're trying to assemble them in this pool before they bring them back to their planet. And so when they see those people hit like this, they're worried because it can maybe derange, the functioning of the baby cocoon inside. And so, but they come with a physical appearance like humans. But when they take the physical body off, they're beings of light. So that's one of them. This woman, she was very beautiful on the physical. She was, working to get all those cocoons back. And one of the humans, young man, her age, he fell in love with her. So she responds to this love, but he, as a human, can see the physical body of a beautiful woman. So he wants to touch her, but she says, "No, please, go away." So he's confused, "Go away? But you love me?" "Yeah, please go away like that." So he doesn't know she's not like a human being. So after he goes away, just that moment, she takes off her physical body and she is just like a beam of light. So he's a little bit scared, and she sends a light to him, and it touches him, and he transforms himself into a happy person. Yeah. So that's why, I wanted to get the clip of this movie, but it's so old, it's difficult. So there was just bits and parts. I got just that part for those, maybe Phil, maybe Johanna, maybe Maria, maybe Laura. But I'm sorry, for you, I'm sure you never saw that movie. But the reason when I saw this movie, I was already Kami Committee, and I was touched because I said, wow, there's something similar, how she expressed her love, how we express our love. Beyond the scope of the human love, we have inside of us a power. I'm sure this is what your son explained to you. Amazing power, just like we can send the divine light to people close like this, or at a distance like this, or even internationally. And it produced amazing results, miraculous results, really. So now, having shared this with you, I would like to speak to you about some principle that's very important in our organization. It's called the principle of spirit primary, mind secondary, and body accompaniment. So just imagine this is a flow of a river here. This is the upstream of the river. It goes down the stream like this. So between the upstream of the river and the downstream, you cannot see the frontier. You cannot see this is upstream, this is middle stream, this is downstream, because it flows down. But this is the upstream and this is the downstream. So we compare this river to the three worlds: the spiritual world, the astral world, that's where we go after we die, and the physical world where we live. So those three bodies, spiritual, astral, physical, are interconnected with each other in the same way as the river. You cannot see clearly the frontier. They inter-influence each other in the direction of spirit first. That means everything happens there first, and then it comes down like this, just like the same way as the river. So, assuming that I just got a new job, and my job is to keep the river clean. So I have three options. Option number one, I clean here this part every day. And next day, impurities come from above. So I clean again, and next day, and every day I do the same. And so this is if I compare to the maintenance of my physical body, every day I lift like this in order to be strong physically. So now, if I go in a higher dimension, the dimension of the mind, then I train over here. So if I'm doing the same job, instead of cleaning here, I'm going to start cleaning over there, all oh, so here is a little bit cleaner the next day, because it comes like this. So here I start doing meditation. Something. I do meditation, using my mind in order to build myself up. But still, from this source here, some impurity comes over here. So after I gained some experience in the job, I said, the result is not so, here's a little bit better. But finally, I can see every impurity come from this source here, the upstream. And so I decide to start cleaning very seriously here and find a system where daily it's clean over here. What happens? Over here. Completely transparent. Here, crystal clear. You see? So it's a little short, my explanation, but it's to share what we do here. We don't do physical workout. We don't do mental training. We do spiritual maintenance of the spiritual cells. Through this amazing blessing we receive thanks to our spiritual leader, and to be granted easily the power to raise the hand, give the divine light, receive the divine light, and elevate ourselves every day spiritually. And the results is unbelievable. Laura, would you like to share with us your experience?
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Sometime last year, my name is Laura Zamora. I'm from Nicaragua. Last year, July the 17th, I got involved in a car accident and I almost got killed. I went to the hospital, they didn't find what was wrong with me, and they sent me back to the house, and then I went back 3-4 times until they find I had blood in my brain. Consequently from that, I was unable to walk for a while. I was in a wheelchair, and something so beautiful happened, because it sounds crazy because I am still recovering from this, but I know is everything have a purpose in life. God have a divine plan for this. While I was going through this, there was many people coming to see me. I have a bunch of friends. I create a support group for Latino ladies, and to tell you the truth, nobody show up and come and see me. While a couple of friends, they were very close. While I was going through this situation, Keita, we were talking about Keita a little while ago.
He's the one who left this morning. He's the one who left us, and he left me with this inherited, wonderful gift.
Keita was always. Keita was calling all the time, and he offered me to come and give me divine light. I wasn't able to walk. My husband. Right now we separate, but my husband, we've been separate from one. But my husband have to carry me. I was like a piece of cloth. He pulled me down, and I used to completely. My legs were completely. I have no strength in my body. I was in a wheelchair. My husband have to take me to places, bathe me, feed me. I'm very grateful for him too. But it was very scary. When I went to the hospital, I was thinking the first time, this is going back for. I was thinking, because I was completely wrong. I went to a coma. And I remember, because my body was, my signs in my body were gone. I cannot move, I can't talk, I just was there. In my mind, I was thinking, God, I don't know if I'm dying. I don't know if I'm gonna come back. But if you're gonna let me here, please let me be healed if I stay. Well, they take me back home. I was in a wheelchair, and Keita started to come. The first time Keita come and give me light, the next day I feel like something, my spirit said, try to walk. And I was laid down in bed, I remember. And I hear that voice and say, get up and try to walk. And I get up from bed. And I remember I start to walking. like a little, when the babies, they are all kind of like trying to get the balance when they are learning to walk. That was me. So I knew divine light helped me to walk again. And when I say spiritual family support group, because I feel like Keita was, or everybody in the dojo, they were really a spiritual family, a support group. Keita was always calling me, checking me, and I feel that support, and I feel like I can count with this spiritual family all the time. And every time I come, because I still, dealing with health issues, but every time I come, I feel better. I feel better and better. And I'm grateful. This is a very powerful organization, a spiritual organization, a spiritual family. I have the opportunity to meet the Holy Master and being so close to him when we have the inauguration for the center. And I remember I went to sleep that night. He looked so normal. You see him and he's like, oh, he's a normal person, but I was very reverent and very respectful, and I know he got something. I went to sleep that night. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was feeling like fire was coming from inside me, and I was all sweating, and I knew it was because I was exposed to his light. So it looks so normal, they look so normal, and I believe the dojos, they are earth angels because they are so dedicated, they are always willing to help, they give you unconditional love. So I love you guys. And I'm grateful for you guys, grateful for you too. He introduced me to Divine Light. Back in those days, if we have no dojo, someone invited me to go to his house to get light, and I was open, and I went and received by him, and I can feel something, like something was moving in my body. So I keep coming back, and coming back, and coming back, and coming back, and this is like 7 or 8 years ago.
Or 8.
So I'm still here.
Thank you very much, Laura, for your sharing your experience. It always moves me a lot because I've known you for a little while. And you just said that you're still here. And here I think the words of Ayano and the words also of Shiho were forever, never separate. So you see, in our case, these words are not exaggerated. In human language, I think when you married, Kathy, you maybe publicly said something to express your commitment for her. And I think this commitment was until the end of your life, I think. Is that correct? And also, I think, Kathy, when you accepted him as your husband, you also committed to love him and support him up until the end of your life. Is that correct?
Yes.
Aha. So now I'm going to explain to you why they said this word forever and never. Because, you see, yesterday I received a very sad news. Is one of ours, died, Leroy. We haven't seen him here for many years, and I thought maybe he's gone somewhere to Canada or another country. So the last 2 months, I sent him emails and voicemail, WhatsApp, but I never received a response. I felt very strange. And just yesterday, I received from California another one of our spiritual family member. She said, oh, his sister just put on Facebook that he just passed away. So I told her, where is her sister? When did he pass away? Can you get a phone number? Because I don't have Facebook. So she got the information, and finally I called the sister yesterday morning. She was crying and crying. He just died 2 days ago in the morning. So I said to her, please, since he died 24 hours ago, may I please come and give him divine light? Because for 24 hours, more or less, after we die, this body is finished. Our internal organs do not function anymore. We close the eyes, the heart doesn't beat anymore. And the body starts decaying because we don't breathe, we don't have any blood or kidney circulation. So this one is finished. But this one and this one is still floating, and there's still a certain how do you say?
Anchor.
line, a spiritual line connecting this one to these for 24 hours. Thanks to the spiritual line, when you give divine light to the body of the person who deceased, yeah, this and this one receive the divine light and are phenomenally improved in their condition. I experienced when my daughter died 34 years ago. My oldest daughter died tragically. So she was burned with boiling water at the 3rd degree from head to the heart. So you could see almost the bones, you know. And yeah, so she suffered tremendously when that happened. Because of the relationship, I was in Belgium, she was in Senegal. At the second it happened, I feel my daughter's just gone, I felt. So the next day when I received a phone call from my mother, she said, oh, I have something important to tell you. I said, my daughter died, right? She said, how do you know? I said, I know, she died at 5 o'clock yesterday. You see? Yeah, so I could go back and the physical body, you know, I cannot tell you, for a parent, when you see your child laying down, you cannot describe how it feels because it should be the opposite. They should bury you. But when you bury your child at a young age, you cannot describe how this feels unless you experience it yourself. But the only thing I could do, since that's what we have, I raised my hand on my daughter. And after maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, you see little by little, the burned skin starts taking the normal color of her skin. And of course the face was at the beginning very painful. She had a painful expression. And then as I gave the divine light to my daughter, I felt light in my heart. Nobody ever saw my tears. So I had this kind of support. I don't know how, but I was light in my heart. As I give divine light to my daughter, the skin changed. And then suddenly she starts perspiring abundantly. And then she smiles, a beautiful smile. Wow. Yeah. So I knew this divine light, through this spiritual line, could connect to her soul and mind and improve her condition to the extent she not only perspired on the physical body, the burns disappeared almost completely, and she had a big smile on her face. Yeah, so throughout the funeral process, I didn't feel, in the contrary, I felt some kind of lightness. People look at my smiling face. They said, is it your daughter? I said, yes, yeah, welcome. I was welcoming the people like this, you know. So many people came. And because of this word they used, never separate, and also forever, I believe that my daughter did an amazing work in the astral world because I think she died in October, right? September, October, and November, December the 19th, we had a basic seminar. 19 people took the seminar. Guess what? All children. So the teacher said, wow, your daughter did an amazing work. And that's what she guided all those children. You see? Oh, so forever, that means even after we lose the physical body, our connection as spiritual family still remains. In fact, I will explain to you, I will take the opportunity to explain to you that one of the things that connect us, the members of this Divine Light organization, is that no matter where we come from, no matter what our age is, no matter what our background is, we all have something in common, a holy pendant that is called Omitama. And this holy pendant allows us, after 3 days of seminar only, we raise the head, just like Moses, Jesus, Buddha, and miracles happen. Amazing miracles. You remember in the movie, I think this movie, even it's very old, but I think everybody saw this movie, the 10 Commandments.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 10 Commandments. 10 Commandments, that's the story of Moses. A very long movie. You know, he is a pharaoh in Egypt, then they find out his Jewish origin, so they throw him away. He has to walk in the desert, you know, so long. Finally, he meets his family, he marries, you know, and then when he goes up the mountain, he hears the voice of God in the, you know, burning bush, you know, and then he accomplishes his mission as a God messenger. He goes back to Egypt, free the people, his people, and they walk. When the pharaoh sends an army, you know, to kill them, he arrives at the coast, and now there's the ocean. How can he go? So he raised a hand, and the ocean opens up, and he goes through with his people. And when they try to come, phew, the ocean closed, and they can never reach. Do you remember this one? You remember? So, during the Hurricane Harvey, I experienced something similar. Yeah, when the water was coming, you know, on the third day, it was very rough. As the water was coming, you know, in the direction of my dwelling, I raised my hand like this. The water opened up like this, and everything seemed right. I could not believe it. I said, "Oh my God, it's just unbelievable." You know, this level of protection, this level of blessings we received in this divine light. And this Omitama, I have many things I would like to say to you, but because of the time limitation, I'm going to summarize. And then next time, I'm going to do another chapter, other. Because on this theme of the spiritual family, I can speak with you for at least several hundreds of hours, honestly speaking. But I will just say that one thing that is absolutely extraordinary, when we die, what do we bring from this world? Hey, what's your opinion?
Probably just our soul. We don't bring anything from this world.
Okay. How about you, Kathy? Do you bring anything, the wallet, or maybe
Nothing.
the furniture?
I've seen.
Which one?
I've seen.
Our sin.
Oh, the sin! We learned this in the basic seminar. Yeah, the impurities we bring. Yeah. So no, don't answer. Okay. So, in fact, you know, there is only one thing in the entire history of mankind. It's the first time in the history, after you die, you can bring one thing with you. It's an Omitama. Yeah. This holy pendant, we can bring it in the astral world and continue to give divine light over there, right? We have so many experience of people, you know, after they die, and they come back and explain to us in some way. You will understand when you come and experience here how they communicate with us and confirm, thanks to this Omitama, they still can practice divine light. Yes?
I forgot to tell this. I truly believe I am still alive because I have the Omitama that day when I had the car accident. I saw this person, it was raining, she hit me so hard in the back. She threw me to the other street avenue, and I saw all the cars coming, you know, to hit me. And I turned the wheel around. It was so amazing because with that rain, I went exactly, it's like if they take my car and put it exactly in the middle of that, where the cars they turn around, stop right there. Went that way and then come back and went exactly in part of the way. I saw the cars coming to me. I thought like, I'm going to die. So I truly believe, you know, it really saved me.
Yes, no, I agree with her because the Omitama saved many people's lives. In Angola, at the time there was still the civil war, we had many members that practiced this divine light. And one of them, it's a lady, she was walking down the street and the rebels were going to shoot with the machine gun, just like he did in Las Vegas, those children that were playing. So when she saw the children, she jumped in front of them so that her body can protect the children. And so all the bullets, you know, were directed to her and her body fell down and everybody moved, but she just looks like this, one eye. After they move, she gets up. She looked at her body. Where her Omitama, this is where the Omitama is kept. All the bullets touched the Omitama that protected her body, just like a magnet, and fell like this. So her body was saved. You see? Yeah. Another one, he was captured and sentenced to death. The next day they were going to execute him. So he was in a cell where the ceiling of the cell was maybe 3 or 4 times higher than this, and then a little opening at the top. So all night long, he did the prayer of Amatsu that we learn here. In the early morning, his body was innervated like this by an invisible force, all the way to the top. He could go in the hole. His Omitama, even though we have chain and pin, it fell down. So Omitama sacrificed himself, and he could leave and run in the forest, and he was saved also. You see, there's so many experiences like this that we have. That's why I'm saying this topic can be very long. I'm trying to, you know, summarize, but it's not easy because we have lived experiences that most humans have never experienced. You understand? So when we speak about it, we cannot deny the truth, the true experience we have experienced, like the experience of Laura. It gives tears in the heart. I've known her for many years, and I've seen her when she couldn't move. I went to give her
He
divine
was
light.
willing to give me light. It was
She
there
couldn't
for me to
move.
get.
At all. So when I see her now come like this, you know, it's just amazing, to be honest with you.
I was in
Yeah.
a wheelchair.
Yeah, she was in a wheelchair for so long. She couldn't move, she couldn't think, she couldn't function by herself. So this spiritual world, we have, thanks to a revelation received by the first spiritual leader, became experts. What is in the spiritual world? In most fairy tales or, you know, myth or mythology, we learn vague ideas about, you know, things that are going over there. But in our case, we learn basic seminar, intermediate seminar, advanced seminar, all the details about this invisible world. Yeah, in details, how it works, how it influences this one. And with this divine light, we are capable of enhancing here, enhancing there, enhancing there, starting with this one. So this is the difference. Many great people in this world, many great people, they operate at that level. You have foundations, you have humanitarian initiatives, United Nations, so many great organizations, charities and voluntary people. On the physical level, they go and help. You could see during Harvey, so many people volunteered going to the shelters and all places, physical level. You have also some people that pray, you know, my mother was friends with a person who was very wealthy, and he decided to give his wealth to an adopted son and go in the desert of Sahara with nothing. Only thing, all year long, he just prays for people. He comes once a year to the society, and then he goes, this, use this kind. This is a little bit more rare, but there's people who do this, like monks or people who give up, you know, the physical life and to practice this mental. But for us, just like the Jesus, Moses, Buddha, how they used to raise their hand, make miracles, we do the exact same thing. You see, it's unbelievable, but it's true. It's true. All those here that have experience can share experiences. At some point you can hear more. I would like to ask if you have any questions about this. I can answer. If not, I'm going to move to the next level. We will have other opportunities to revisit with this principle. I can assure you of this. Can we move on to the next one? Okay. So, but is my explanation clear enough? Or thank you so much. This is the spiritual family. After we receive this Omitama, this is the graduation after the third day of basic seminar, we take the picture. You see, in this case, this was September 26th last year. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. They were graduates. So we celebrate.
There's Keita, right there. Show
Yeah, here's Keita, the one who left. The one who left this morning. He left with his wife this morning to California. Yeah. And of course you recognize Shiho, you recognize Ayano, you know, you recognize Crazy Isa. And this is his wife, by the way. They left this morning, you know. Yeah, and this is a family member of her. This is her son, this is her daughter. Yeah, and this is the grandson of this one. So you see, this joy you see on those faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they just received this holy pendant. The day you receive this holy pendant, I cannot describe to you. Your entire life changed, not for a temporary time, just as she said, forever. Never separate. Even the physical body, we still together. I can say to you that yesterday, when I heard about our friend who died, I could not reach to his body to give him divine light. So I did a special prayer here, which allows him to receive the divine light. And I could feel all day long his presence here and his gratitude. I could feel very, very positively.
Wow.
Yeah, yesterday, Leroy. And probably he's, you know, listening to our presentation. He used to be here all the time, play with Tayo, you know.
Every day.
He was a great guy, really. Very, very, very nice guy. And so forever we are connected. In 300 years, 500 years, still 1,000 years, we're connected forever. You see, that's the difference with this spiritual family that we are. So, this is last year, September 26th. In fact, happy birthday! Happy birthday! Spiritual birthday! They were,
September 26th?
yeah, September 26th and September 27th. They received the graduation. last year. So the last that we had that was born here as a family member, we thought he was going to come.
No,
Henry! No,
yet.
he didn't come physically. But he received last month the basic seminar. It's a former professional football player in the team of New York, you know, and very humble man, you know, so nice really. We just enjoyed sharing the teachings with him, and he became, you know, a practitioner. And of course here you can recognize Shiho and Ayano, and also Keita, who just left with his wife, and also Johanna, and also him. You know, he's not here today, and his wife. Usually they come, but today they had some situation they couldn't come. Kyo and his wife Kana, she speaks fluently Spanish because she lived in Mexico, in Colima, for many years. And you will meet them, I'm sure, one of these days if you continue to come. And so he just received the seminar, you know, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So that's, you can see those kind of smiling faces. You cannot see so much sadness. Because this kind of celebration, honestly, this is the most joyful moment, you know, the most significant moment you can experience in your life when you're connected with this holy pendant in that manner, that thereafter you raise your hand, you become a person of miracle. Yeah. And personally, I received this graduation 42 years ago. In Paris, where I received my Omitama.
Wow.
Yes. I was so blessed to have a mother. My mother one day, you know, told me, tomorrow, the basic seminar, please go. I was 19 years old at the time. And so I went, you know, I sat down and listened, you know. I couldn't believe it. What are they talking about? I could not believe. But the third day, there was 95 of us here. I said, raise my hand before the graduation. I do not believe what you said, but can I still receive Omitama? They said, sure. So I received Omitama. As soon as I received this Omitama, my life started changing. Because my mother told me, please, raise your hand. As long as you raise your hand, you will always be protected, and doors will always open for you, wherever you go in the world. So that's the message I received, you know, from my mother that was most significant for me, because every day after she finished her job in Paris, she went to the center and raised her hand and prayed every day. Except once a month, she had the ceremony in her house, so she had to prepare for people to come celebrate, you know. But other than that, every single day, that time dojos were open every day. So every day my mother was, that's my best memory of my mother. And wherever she goes, she always raise her hand, you know, to people that have all kind of situations. She always raise her hand. So from this day on, I can tell you, my life shifted completely from one direction to a total different direction that I had no idea that all those statements that were made during this seminar were true. For example, this was 42 years ago. At that time, the human medicine was very different as what it is today. And in the teaching, you already heard, the time will come when medication will lose its power. So people say, how is this possible? Cannot believe at that time. But today, 40 years later, 42 years later, everybody can see. They give you medication, doesn't work. They give you another, doesn't work. Give you another, doesn't give you another. You know. So we were told that at that time the weather is going to change. We could not believe, because at that time, spring, you know, fall, was very, very, very precise. The same day, change everywhere in the world. It never has dysfunction at that time. But we were told it's going to be dysfunctional. Now we can see. Just look at the last few weeks all over the world. You know what happened. So those teachings, you know, were revealed 58 years ago to the first Oshin-Ushi-sama, that's a spiritual leader. And exactly like we learned. For me, after 42 years, I practice almost, no, not almost, every day I practice this art. And I can tell you that I'm so delighted. And it's endless, because we have reached understandings of the concept of happiness that is beyond what we even imagined in the past. I remember 30 years ago, wow, we're so happy compared to other people. We're having a good time all the time. Things are beautiful. But I had no idea that 30 years later, it would be even much bigger than that. Because now, you know, we're not afraid of anything. Death, hardship, pain, nothing. Even we enjoy. A few days ago, both doshis, they hit their foot very strongly on something hard. Usually people go, wow! No, they say, thank you! Wow! So there's enjoyment when you understand that, thanks to this, you said when we die, we bring the sins. This is true. But what is wonderful, we have the ability through those kind of experiences to eliminate the impure blood or eliminate the impurities from the spiritual, astral, and physical body. So even we're on the physical plane, we can eliminate, the negative virtues we received from our ancestors in the past life, even in this lifetime. We eliminate. I'm sorry, there was a little bit of power, but fortunately we're still good. You see? And so we enjoy wonderful moments when we go to the down of the waves, with much pain like she experienced. She has people coming to give her divine light, give her support, and share with her this pain. We share with her. Yeah. Mm. And then, I've known her for many years, but I can say to you, now that she came back from this difficult experience, she's brighter than she's ever been before. She's lighter than she's ever been before. She's prettier than she's ever been before. You see? Yeah. So it's amazing because what we see in the schools where we learn, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is all good. It's not bad. It's good. The French people say that after the storm, the sun shines. Without the storm, you cannot enjoy the sun, the shining sun. Right? I'm sorry, Laura. Go ahead.
Even Bible talks about this. We have to go to, have to go through fire to be able to be melted and become to be a piece of jerk.
Yes.
So that's what happens, when we go through situations in life, is that mold you and make you more compassionate and more grateful about everything. Like for me, being able to be walking now and being able to think more clearly now and being able to feel like I'm still here, I'm alive. It's like more, you become to be more present. And I think when we are in the present moment is when we are more connected with God.
Mm-hmm. This is so true. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And everybody's happy in Susa. When you go to Susa, everybody's happy. You don't see sad people there.
Yeah. This is another level I'm going to discuss in a future presentation, because this in itself is 1 hour of what she just talked about. This is like a heaven that has been already created for us on this planet. But I would like to say now, after mentioning the birth of a practitioner of divine light that connects with each and every one of us all over the world with this powerful Omitama, we have a sacred bond that is inseparable, that will continue even after we leave this physical planet. What I would like to do now is I would like to bring you some memory that I'm sure most of you will remember very, very well. If I remember what I was instructed to do, I think it's just like this. Pretty good student, eh? All
Where
right.
is this? Is
Huh?
it isn't it?
Well,
Over?
take a look.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we can walk it out. Ooh, mountains, we can walk it out, and mountains. And I rise like the day, I rise unafraid, I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I like the waves, I rise up, in spite of the ache, I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll do is feel. Mountain. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise afraid. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. That we have each other, and we rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the end. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the end. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times
Ah, it was not too long ago. Yeah, it's so amazing that we, less than 2 months ago, we were experiencing this. I'm sure it brings memories to all of you. You know, it's just unbelievable what we experienced here. And not all of us survived. I heard the story of this mother. She had her baby and everything was flooded, so she had to get saved. So when she got pulled in, the baby left and the baby disappeared. You know, so many stories, you know, during this hard time. I'm sure you receive phone calls or emails from family members all over the world. Are you okay? Oh, you're in Houston, right? So, yeah, I'm sorry. It's an emotional moment. I hope it doesn't keep me from remembering how to get to the next one. I think it's right. This is one of the messages we received from one of our family members in the United Kingdom, in Manchester. Dear all, thank you so much for sharing Suga's precious divine light and his unconditional love with souls who are receiving their spiritual training in the spiritual world of London, Parsons Green's tube station where they had the mass murder, Mexico, Caribbean islands after Maria, the other hurricane? Maria, islands, South America with the earthquake as well. I'm sure the prayers, divine light, and love you sent are greatly appreciated by the spiritual world. I'm very privileged to be part of the circle of love and light. Have a great weekend. So what happened during the Harvey, we not only we receive, of course, the phone calls is normal and the emails, the text message, but in England, in Vietnam, in California, in Congo, in Japan, in Taiwan, 24/7 during the hurricane. There's practitioners of divine light, they were sending divine light towards Houston so that we are protected. And each of us, the Kami Committee of Houston, without any exception, we didn't get any drop of rain in our home, our cars, or physical body was completely protected. Same, you see, when they had in England the mass murders over there, we also from here and in Vietnam and all those places I mentioned to you gave divine light in their direction with our sincere prayer that they be protected. And same when it happened in Spain recently, Mexico, in the Caribbean, we did the same all over. This is why I'm sharing this with you, to give you an idea that this family is large and this family is very powerful, spiritually connected forever. And I would like to conclude, since it's been longer than expected, with after they gave the divine light to us in Houston, in Manchester, from this house, the rainbow manifested like that. And they sent us the picture to show us that they are spiritually connected with us, and God is looking after us in this manner. That's why they sent us this picture from the house of the lady who sent this message, you know, on the behalf of the Kami Committee from over there. I wanted you to see this, and as a reflection and conclusion of my speech today, I would like to share with you this divine song entitled Never Forget Disaster While Enjoying Peace. While enjoying my life in peace, I shall keep offering gratitude for the joy of living without any incidents, so that I will never forget the days of disaster.